So you sent over this file, and I have to say, usually when we talk about consumption on this show, it's, media or data.
Right.
This is consumption in the most literal, almost horrifying way. We're looking at the story of a man named Harry Ledgow.
It's a story that really walks a fine line, doesn't it? I mean, it's not just some quirky news brief about a guy who likes soda.
Not at all.
This is a deep narrative about obsession, and we have to unpack it in, I think, 3 layers. You've got the ritual itself, then the hoard, and then how the earth itself kind of had the final say.
The earth had the final say. That is a heck of a teaser. So, okay, let's start with that ritual. This wasn't just a guy who enjoyed a Diet Coke now and then.
No, this was a mission. He went through every possible form, cans, glass bottles. I think at one point he even stole one of those syrup bags from a McDonald's.
He did. But the source says he had a favorite, the grandfather of them all.
The 3-liter bottle, you barely even see those anymore. But for Harry, that was it. And it was this whole sensory loop.
What do you mean?
The source describes the specific way his lips fit over the wide lid, that fizz, the kick he felt. He knew it was bad for him. He'd read the studies. But that immediate physical reward just completely overrode any long-term fare.
Classic addiction cycle. But here's where it goes off the rails for me. Most people, you drink the soda, you recycle the bottle.
Check it out.
Right. He didn't. He just walked to his back door and tossed it into the yard. Over and over.
Until he had what the source calls a sea of plastic. He could literally swim through them. And with that, of course, came rats and roaches.
Which sounds like an absolute nightmare. But the detail that really got me was, for a guy living in a mountain of garbage, he was strangely clean about it.
That's the key. That's the psychological mechanism that lets him function. In his mind, it wasn't filth.
Because he washed them.
Exactly. He meticulously rinsed and sealed every single bottle before he threw it out. So the pile never really smelled. He was sterilizing the individual units of his own chaos. It let him see it as a paradise, not a dump.
And that must be how he handled the social side of it. I mean, you'd think the neighbors would have called the authorities years ago.
Well, he had this incredibly strange social contract with the old man next door.
I couldn't believe this part.
It was a form of validation, right? The neighbor was allowed to throw his own washed Diet Coke bottles into Harry's yard.
As long as he followed the rules.
As long as he followed the washing rules. So if your neighbor's doing it too, well, then it can't be that crazy, can it?
But the city code inspector, he wasn't playing along.
No, the guy in the white truck. To Harry, this was a playful rivalry. He would literally hide inside the garbage pile to avoid him.
So what does he do when the inspector starts cracking down? He doesn't clean up.
He builds up, he goes out, gets plywood and post extensions, and raises his entire fence by 4 feet. Just to hide the rising tide.
He walled himself in. And the crazy thing is, it worked. The inspector couldn't see the pile anymore, so he left. Harry won.
And the very moment he wins,
Well, gets bored.
the obsession just evaporates. The thrill was in the fight. Without the inspector, the bottles just lost their magic. All of a sudden, he feels this urge to, exercise.
So he decides to take a nap. And he crawls down to the bottom of this massive pile.
Finds a comfortable little gap between the bottles and air pocket and just drifts off to sleep.
And this is where physics finally catches up with psychology.
It had to. I mean, gravity doesn't care about your rationalizations. You have the immense weight of thousands of bottles, all that trapped moisture, the shifting soil underneath.
A sinkhole.
A sinkhole forms directly underneath him, and the ground just opens up.
Wow. That final image it's just going to stick with me. The earth swallowing him and his entire life's work.
It's a tragedy, of course, but there's a kind of awful poetic efficiency to it. He spent years consuming and accumulating, and in the end, he was consumed.
It really makes you look at your own habits. We all accumulate things. Maybe not plastic bottles, but unread emails, debt, old grudges.
Exactly. We think we're building a fortress around ourselves, a little paradise.
But maybe we're just adding weight.
Just adding weight to a foundation that can't actually hold it.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. What are you holding on to that might be silently eroding the ground beneath you, just waiting for gravity to take over? Thanks for diving in with us.